Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Coffee Break Spanish. Estamos aquí, and I'm a little out of breath because I suddenly realized I was still wearing my German t-shirt. We are doing, sorry, I'm just sorting my microphone here. We are doing a series of live lessons over the next 4 days, from today through to Thursday. And today we are focusing on a Spanish lesson. And we're going to be doing a little bit of learning over the next 25 minutes or so. And of course, we're trying to reinforce the idea that you can indeed learn something useful in just 20 minutes. I would love to know who is watching. So if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. We're actually going to be joined for this lesson, and we're going to be joined by one of my colleagues from the Coffee Break team who has received a postcard from another colleague from the Coffee Break team. And we're going to be going through the postcard together and trying to identify the mystery location. And that mystery location, of course, will be the game that we're playing. We're trying to identify that. But of course, as we're watching this and as we're listening to the Spanish, we're doing some really useful language practice. And it'll give us the chance to review what we're learning, to increase our knowledge, increase our vocabulary, and perhaps, who knows, learn something new about a place from, I believe, the Spanish-speaking world. So let's see who we've got watching tonight. I'm saying tonight, it's 8 o'clock on Monday evening here in Scotland. Jonathan is saying, I wish it was in Ibiza. Hi from Lisbon, not Lisbon. Sheena's from Aberdeen, joining us in Aberdeen. Oh, let me see. Yeah, here's Sheena here. We have got Klaus joining us from Dinamarca. Muy buenas tardes. Quizzical Earth is joining us from desde Tampa. Hola. David Wood is joining us from North Berwick. We've got Tim joining us from London. Karen is in Toronto, in Canada. Charles joining us from Austin. Marianne from Ibiza. I wonder. Jonathan, I think he wishes he was in Ibiza, but Marianne is in Ibiza. We've got Catherine joining us from the west coast of Canada. Casey joining us from the US. Sally joining us from Sussex, Darius from San Francisco, lots of you joining us from all over the world. We've got Robin in San Diego, where I was just a couple of weeks ago, and it rained for 3 days. I was quite surprised. I was looking for good weather in San Diego. Mandy is joining us from, why is this not working tonight? There we go. From Cala de Mijas in Spain. We've got lots of you joining us. There are too many for me to put on the screen, but it's great to have you all together tonight for a new episode, a new live broadcast, a little lesson. And as I said, we're going to be doing a little listening, we're going to be doing a little reading together, and basically trying to practice our Spanish with the help of some of the Coffee Break team. Now, this lesson comes from our Coffee Break Club. So if you're a member of the Coffee Break Club, you may well be familiar already with this type of lesson. It's one of our postcard videos, and we're answering the question, ¿Dónde estoy hoy? ¿Dónde me encuentro hoy? Where am I today? And that's the question being asked by one of my colleagues. I think we should get straight on with this. If you've got any questions about any aspects of the language used in the postcard as we watch it together, then do let me know. I'll be happy to answer these afterwards. But for now, let's listen to our postcard.
¿Dónde me encuentro hoy? Hola, te doy la bienvenida a otro episodio de ¿Dónde me encuentro hoy? Soy Concha y en esta ocasión he recibido una postal de Marina. Vamos a jugar a un juego. Vamos a leer la postal de Marina e intentar adivinar desde dónde me escribe. ¿Listos? ¡Vamos allá!
Hola Concha, hace un día espléndido. Estoy en una ciudad famosa por sus altas temperaturas, pero por ahora no hemos pasado mucho calor. Esta mañana hemos estado paseando por un barrio con mucho encanto, el barrio de la Judería. Nos hemos perdido por sus calles estrechas, pero finalmente hemos salido a una plaza, la Plaza de la Corredera, donde hemos tomado unas tapas al solecito. Los platos que más me han gustado han sido el flamenquín y el salmorejo. Por la tarde hemos visitado el Alcázar de los Reyes Cristianos y hemos terminado el tour en la magnífica Mezquita Catedral. En su arquitectura se mezcla el arte barroco, gótico, renacentista y mudéjar. Me ha dejado boquiabierta. ¿Sabes dónde me encuentro hoy? Un fuerte abrazo, Marina.
¡Qué postal tan linda nos manda Marina! I am going to switch to English now so that we can analyze the clues together and figure out where she is writing from. ¡Vamos allá! Hace un día espléndido. Estoy en una ciudad famosa por sus altas temperaturas, pero por ahora no hemos pasado mucho calor. Hace un día espléndido. This is a very nice expression. As you can see, we start with the verb hacer, and that indicates that we are talking about the weather. You may know that we normally use this verb to talk about the weather, like hace calor, hace frío, it's hot, it's cold. In this case, what we are saying is hace un día espléndido. Espléndido is quite similar to the word splendid in English. So what we're saying is that it's a wonderful day. The weather is wonderful. Then she uses the verb estoy, and that's to indicate location. That's why we are not using the verb ser in this case. So, estoy en una ciudad, I am in a city, famosa, famous, por sus altas temperaturas. So, famous for its altas temperaturas, high temperatures. Pero por ahora, this is an expression that means but so far or for now, no hemos pasado mucho calor. This is another very nice expression that we use to indicate if we are cold or we are hot. So, pasar calor or pasar frío. It's conjugated in the perfect tense because we use the expression por ahora, which links this action to the present somehow. So, no hemos pasado mucho calor. We have not been too hot. Okay, high temperatures. I think that locates us in a warm country. But let's read the next clue for more information. Esta mañana hemos estado paseando por un barrio con mucho encanto, el barrio de la Judería. Right, so esta mañana, that is also a trigger for the perfect tense. This morning, hemos estado paseando. This is a little bit of a tricky one because we have the verb estar, conjugated in the perfect tense, hemos estado, but then we have a gerund, paseando, that ing form, and because it comes from the verb pasear, we use the ending ando. So, hemos estado paseando, we have been walking or we have been going for a walk, por un barrio con mucho encanto, por un barrio, in a neighborhood. But notice the change in preposition here. We use the preposition por because we are talking about an approximate location, so somewhere that we walked around. So they went for a walk around the neighborhood con mucho encanto. Encanto means charm. So they went for a walk in a very charming neighborhood. And that neighborhood was el barrio de la Judería. Judería is the name of the neighborhood where Jews used to live. So not many cities have a Judería. I have an idea of where this could be. But let's have a look at the next sentence. Nos hemos perdido por sus calles estrechas, pero finalmente hemos salido a una plaza, la Plaza de la Corredera, donde hemos tomado unas tapas al solecito. Okay, so starting here with the verb nos hemos perdido, and that means we have got lost. You may recognize the verb perder, but here is used in the reflexive form, which means we lost ourselves, so we got lost. Por sus calles estrechas. Again, we have the preposition por, and as we already said, it means around its calles estrechas, narrow streets. Estrechas, which is the adjective, goes after the noun, and it has to agree with calles, which is feminine and plural. Pero finalmente, but finally, or but eventually, hemos salido a una plaza, we have come out to a square, which is called the Square of the Corredera. Donde hemos tomado, where we have had, remember this verb tomar, we can use it for both drinks or food. In this case, what did they have? Unas tapas al solecito. So tapas, you may be familiar with this typical Spanish food. Al solecito. Solecito comes from the word sol, but we use this ito ending and we change the word slightly, solecito, and it's just a cuter way to say so, like you enjoy it a bit more if you say solecito. So they have had some tapas in the sun. Okay, so let's find out a bit more about these tapas. Los platos que más me han gustado han sido el flamenquín y el salmorejo. Okay, so los platos que más me han gustado. Los platos, the dishes or the courses, que más me han gustado han sido. This is a very tricky structure, so let's have a look at it little by little. So we start with que más, which more. Me han gustado, to me, have pleased. Han sido, have been. So literally, the dishes that more to me have pleased have been. But what we're really saying is the dishes that I liked more or the most have been el flamenquín y el salmorejo, which are two very typical foods from this place that I might already know, but let's have a look at the last clue and make sure that my idea is correct. Por la tarde hemos visitado el Alcázar de los Reyes Cristianos y hemos terminado el tour en la magnífica mezquita catedral. En su arquitectura se mezcla el arte barroco, gótico, renacentista y mudéjar. Me ha dejado boquiabierta. Por la tarde, so in the evening or in the afternoon, we use the same word for both in Spanish and notice the change in the preposition. Hemos visitado, we have visited, el Alcázar de los Reyes Cristianos. So Alcázar is a Muslim type of palace, the palace of the Christian king and queen. Y hemos terminado, and we have finished, el tour, the tour, en la magnífica mezquita catedral, in the wonderful, in the magnificent mezquita, mosque, catedral, cathedral. So this mosque happens also to be the cathedral of the city. En su arquitectura, in its architecture, se mezclan, this is the verb mezclarse, and it means to mix or to blend, el arte, the art, and then a list of all the different arts that we can find in this mosque, barroco, baroque, gótico, gothic, renacentista, the art, the Renaissance, y mudéjar. Mudéjar is another type of Muslim art. And Marina finishes with a very nice expression. Me ha dejado boquiabierta. So analyzing this last word, boquiabierta, it comes from boca and abierta. So literally it left your mouth open. We use the verb dejar, which means to leave, and we are using it in the same way as we use gustar. So me ha dejado, to me it has left, mouth open. So I was amazed by this, basically. Okay, so now that we have read all the clues and have all the information, ¿dónde se encuentra Marina? Marina está en Córdoba. ¿Has visitado Córdoba alguna vez? Házmelo saber en los comentarios. Soy Concha y te doy las gracias por participar en este juego conmigo. I hope you have enjoyed this video and I look forward to receiving another one of these postcards very soon. Hasta entonces, muchas gracias and happy coffee breaking.
Muchas gracias a ti, Concha, y también a ti, Marina. Thank you to both of you for your contribution here. We hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you've learned something. And it was very interesting to see many of you were posting Cordoba from quite early on in this video. I think Charles got it first. Well done, Charles. We had Casey with the correct answer. Sheena also with the correct answer. Selma. We had David Wood also confirming it was Cordoba. Karen. And Charles is confirming that he has been to Cordoba. It's a beautiful city with so much interesting architecture and so many different cultures represented in that. And also, apparently, the world's best place to try la tortilla española. I remember trying it there for when we were filming in Cordoba for one of our Coffee Break Spanish shows. So, What I would like to know from you is, what did you learn in this video? Or what did you pick up in the video that perhaps you have learned before and you were reminded about? Because I think that's always what happens when we're accompanied by a teacher. Then we are seeing what we have learned before, and it's reinforcing what we already know. And that's such an important aspect of learning. For me, one of the things that this video really represented was an opportunity to look at different past tenses. Of course, Spanish can be a little bit tricky because we have a number of past tenses. We've got the preterite tense used for narrative actions in the past, what you did, what happened, what you ate, and so on. Then we have the imperfect tense, which is really a descriptive tense. It's used to describe what things were like in the past. But also the complication with Spanish is that we also have a perfect tense. The perfect tense being used for particular things related to the present. So, for example, if you said, this morning we did such and such, or this afternoon we did such and such. And these are things that you have done, but they're related to the present because they're still kind of linked to what's happening now. We have been eating tortilla española in the Plaza Mayor for the past 10 minutes and so on, things like that. So Julia's saying, sorry that I joined and missed the video. Don't worry, Julia, the video will be available for review after this, so you'll be able to watch it either on YouTube or indeed on Facebook. And we will also be sending an email to everyone who normally gets our emails with all the links. Gillian saying, yes, help with the perfect tense. So I hope this video already helped you with the perfect tense, but it is a little tricky. I think one of the key things about the perfect tense is that you should listen out for those triggers. And one of the key triggers is when you have the word this. So when you say this morning, this week, these are linked to the present because we're still talking about this week and this morning. But of course, what really confuses me a little is when you think about this year. Now, this year, you might be thinking this year back in January. But if you say this year, I have learned Spanish, then you still need to use the perfect tense because you're relating it to now, this year, this decade, this century. All of these would still use the preterite tense because you're linking it to the present. Julie's saying, it reminded me of the use of the imperfect when saying what you have done in the day. So the imperfect is used to describe things, to describe the weather when you were doing something or what you were doing when something else happened and so on. Selma saying the use of the perfect tense is the closest past and how it relates to the present. Pat saying al solecito es nuevo a mí, es nuevo para mí. And I think it's a lovely expression, al solecito. You just can imagine yourself having a little something to eat, something to drink, a nice coffee in a nice warm square, al solecito, just in the nice little sunshine. It's a beautiful phrase. One of the other things that I picked up on was the perderse, me he perdido, or nos hemos perdido. We got lost, to lose oneself. So it's another useful verb. And pasar calor, to experience, or literally to pass heat. But it's when heat passes over you, pasar calor. And the lovely expression, me ha dejado boquiabierta. I was left with an open mouth. Me ha dejado boquiabierta, or it left me. So, la mezquita catedral me ha dejado boquiabierta. And using little expressions like that when you can really helps to make you sound all the more like a native speaker. Selma saying, I don't know the name of the tense estar plus gerund, so there are different tenses using estar plus gerund. So the present continuous would be using the present of estar plus the gerund. The imperfect continuous would be the imperfect of estar plus the gerund, and so on. So lots of different ways of describing it. And as Julia said, you can also call it the present progressive, the present continuous, present progressive. Just different books, different courses will describe that differently. We tend to use the present continuous, the imperfect continuous in Coffee Break Spanish. Okay, now what we've been looking at today is a video that's part of our Coffee Break Club. And the Coffee Break Club is an on-demand video library which has hundreds of videos just like this one to help you improve your Spanish. Today we've spent just 15 minutes, 20 minutes together looking at these different words. And what is really important to remember is that just in that little bit of time, look at all the things that we've been reminded about, or things that we've learned completely new tonight. And with the Coffee Break Club, you can do that every day of the year. In fact, we'll be doing another lesson tomorrow. We'll be doing another lesson on Wednesday and another lesson on Thursday, because this is part of a series. When I'm showing you what the club entails, we'll be doing a different type of video tomorrow, and we are going to be looking at some reading tomorrow. We'll be reading a text together and learning a little about some part of the world, some interesting thing that is happening somewhere. So we'll look at another text tomorrow, but let me just show you, give you a little flavour of the club now. This is our Coffee Break Club on the Coffee Break TV platform. So this is a website, but it's also an app. We've got an app for iOS and Android, and you can access all this content on your app, on your device, or indeed on the website. So if we scroll down to the Coffee Break Spanish Club and click on See All, here you'll see that there's a huge collection of videos that goes on and on. Lots of content are similar to the content that we've just watched. There's lots more Donde me encuentro hoy videos, some with Anabel, some with Concha, some with Marina. We've got SIP videos. SIP videos are study, investigation and practice, where we look at particular grammar points. So a SIP video of stem changing verbs E to I in the present tense, or por versus para. We're actually going to be looking at that video later this week. We've also got 5-minute learning videos, so videos with translation challenges. We've got reading videos, we've got vocabulary practice, a huge range of content there. And also our discovery videos, when we're discovering something about the world. So vamos a la feria, los misterios de la isla de Pascua, gracias serpientes. I don't like the look of that one with the snakes in it. I'm not a fan of snakes. But lots of content there that will help you learn and improve your Spanish in just 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So that is the Coffee Break Club. And crucially, this week we are running a special offer. We're offering 30% off your first month or your first quarter on the club. Now, the club costs $19.99 per month, or $44.99 per quarter. But there's 30% off your first month or your first quarter with the code SPRING30. And you just need to go to coffeebreaktv.com to access that. So head there, and as long as you put in that code SPRING30, then you would get 30% off that first month or the first quarter. And the other crucial thing to mention about the Coffee Break Club is that for one payment of $19.99 or $44.99 with 30% off that, you are getting access not only to the Spanish videos, but to the French, German, Italian and Spanish videos all together. So it's one payment for access to our entire library of on-demand videos, just like the one you've seen tonight. Let me show you briefly what the club entails.
Hola a todos.
Halli, hallo.
Salut tout le monde.
Ciao!
Moi, c'est Max.
Soy Anabel.
I'm Francesca. My name is Olivera, and today we'll be doing some translations together.
I'm Mark, and today we're doing some reading with Francesca.
Today we have another video de vocabulario.
And today we have another postcard to read together.
Today's topic is how to say my, your, his, and her in French. In this video, I have a grammar point for you, and it's the near future.
Our text today is about a Kartoffelquarantäne, so a potato quarantine.
The Coffee Break Club is based around 3 simple questions. What do you want to learn today? Perhaps you want to review your French grammar or learn about German culture. Then, which kind of activity would you like? A reading text, some listening practice, or a factual video? And the final question is, how long is your coffee break? Whether you want a quick 5-minute cultural text or a longer review of grammar, there's something for you in our library of learning content on the Coffee Break Club. And we're adding new videos all the time. Join the Coffee Break Club on Coffee Break TV. Visit coffeebreaktv.com today. We are indeed adding new videos all the time. New videos went up today on the club, and there will be new videos later this week too. So the Coffee Break Club, as I said, there's a special offer on at the moment, 30% off, and this offer runs out on Sunday night. It's a special Easter offer. We're offering 30% off with the coupon code SPRING30. I hope that you consider taking advantage of that. Now, we are just about to do an Italian session because we're doing 4 sessions at once. So I should just have time to find my Italian t-shirt and put on that for the Italian session. So if you're watching on YouTube, stick around. We will be starting the Italian session at 8:30 UK time. But for now, for our Spanish learners, I really do hope that you've enjoyed this. Thank you for all your kind words. You've said some really nice comments here. So Diatha, love Coffee Break Spanish. Jillian, muchas gracias Coffee Break team. Me gusta mucho, me ha gustado mucho. I've really enjoyed it. David saying gracias a Mark y todos los demás. Buenas noches. Good night to you. So thank you for taking part in this. We hope you've enjoyed it. Muchísimas gracias como siempre. Y hasta la próxima. Adiós.